I got to thinking about music. We've always wanted music, and to make music accessible, uh, along came the record player and the records, and we had radio as well. And this made music more accessible, and it brought people who could make music out to everybody around the world. And then this industry started to grow, and it was based around the records and the record distribution. And then MTV came along and on television and allowed us to see the artists and listen to the music as well. And so all of this was a growing industry until along came the CD. And now music could be taped, it could be recorded. And the big question was, well, hang on a minute, this is now threatening this industry. And if that wasn't bad enough, then along came the MP3 player and the MP4. And the question started to be, well, will musicians be able to make money? And then along came iTunes. And this seemed to even further threaten this industry and the revenue for this industry. And the question started to be asked, will people be able to create music if there's no industry to support it? You need the big infrastructure of people choosing what we could listen to and then putting it into records or producing it and then distributing it to us. And if that's not there, then all of these people, artists, will never get heard. And yet, look what's happened to that industry. Despite all of those fears, that industry has grown. There are more people being able to bring their music out to the people around the world than ever. And we have less restrictive practice of record companies deciding who we can listen to and who we can't listen to. Anybody can make music and put it out there at this moment. So creativity within the music industry has just grown and is just transformed, and it's getting bigger and bigger as time goes by. In the story of learning and development, learning is the music. There's still a human need to learn, but the delivery has not really adapted over the years. It's not really changed. Yes, it's adapted in ways like, oh, let's do webinars and let's bring in an informative speaker. And yes, surely, it used to be all done by educational establishments and universities, and there has been a plethora of training companies set up and coaching businesses and speaking businesses that have grown up as a result of it. But those are just adaptations. It's not really fundamentally changed. I believe COVID is that time to give it a rethink. We've discovered so much about what we can do as a result of COVID that learning and development needs to now have a complete rethink, whether it's a school, whether it's a university, whether it's a training company, whatever method of delivery is out there. There are companies out there with 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 plus people just working in the learning and development department. These are people just producing the same thing that we've always done in the same manner. Very little in the way of creativity. Now's the time to step. And I'm not saying I know exactly how to do it and that this is the way to do it. I'm not that big-headed to think that. But I am saying it's time for a rethink. It's time to think differently about where are we going in terms of learning and development in the future. How are we going to deliver learning and development in the future? We've just started running learning and development sprints, which is a get the players in the room, everybody who's got a finger in the game, and say, right, okay, now let's relook at what the company needs. Let's go from scratch, start up and build up. What does our organization really need? And when we do that, we're finding that organizations are saying, wow, we've got so much that we could do more effectively, could be more productive. There's so many better things that could be done. Learning is the music, but it's not adapted and reinvented itself and being imaginative and innovative in the same way as the music industry was.